So let's look at the first one, the King of Cups. Cups are a water sign. That's Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And this is feeling like more of a situation than a person. It feels like emotionally taking the high road, making some changes in how you react to things, really absorbing them before you react to it. I'm feeling like a knee-jerk reaction has been looked at and changed. But something emotional is happening to you. It is of the higher good, or it wouldn't present as a king. But it also feels like, don't be afraid to share what is going on within you, in your heart. Don't close down. Share your emotions. Take a step into integrity. Think about what is being presented before you make any decisions, and make decisions from a place of information versus feelings. But it does look like being in integrity around your feelings is a really good thing. But it also does feel like there's a lot of focus on what you should be doing. So follow your heart and follow your own lead. King of Swords is here. This is you. This is air, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. It can stand for someone else. Well, if you were in a male body, this is more likely you. It can present as a female as well. But it does look like making you a priority is pretty important. Doing things and stepping into responsibilities like a king should. It looks like some responsibilities have kind of fallen by the wayside, and it does feel like you need to pick up the gauntlet, pick up the sword, and do what is right for you and for the situation. Don't hide from the situation. Face it head on. This sword is kind of standing, twinkling to me, like standing up for what you believe in, taking on the responsibilities that you may or may not have ignored or passed to someone else. This is not a judgment. This is just what's coming through. But some of your responsibilities need to increase and or at least be balanced a little bit more, and to look at things as how they are. Totally look at things as how they are. See if you can make your separations from other people's opinions. Find the path that is clearest for you. But you're in a brand new space. It looks like you released a lot of things, whether it was of your choice or whether it was someone else's initiation. A lot of things have changed for you. So it's time to rebuild that. Rebuild it in integrity. Speak your truth. Hold up your gauntlet of responsibilities. Hold up your end of the bargain. Don't forget the things that you have committed to, and follow through and finish those. Be of a kingly integrity. There's 3 kings here, so it really, to me, Spirit is telling me, step into your power. You are quite capable of handling a lot more things than you've been giving yourself credit. You have a very fertile mind and can think of ways to do things that may not be in the norm, that may not be how other people do it, and it may be why you've been holding back on either sharing your ideas or taking the gauntlet, taking the reins on decisions or things like this. But it's okay to think a little bit differently outside the box, as long as the end result is one of movement, growth, compassion. So it looks like you've been standing in fear a little bit to take on some rightful responsibilities that have been dealt with by other people. So don't be afraid to jump in there and claim those responsibilities and knock it out of the park, Aquarius. You are very capable. You have one of the most fertile minds of all of the signs. So walk through that fear. Just give it a go. The King of Pentacles is here. Pentacles is Earth, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. More than anything, this feels like material things. It's time to get things right. It looks like for the last maybe even year or so, you have been allocating funds to clean up some things, and you haven't been really able to save or even kind of meet some of the bills and responsibilities that have been on your plate. You've been trying to clean up stuff from the past. So make sure the balance of cleaning up the past and take care of the present is equal, and that it can afford you to live. But it looks like you've been living on a shoestring budget for a while. That does feel like it's shifting. Paying off bills is wonderful, but if you have to take half of your paycheck to pay off one bill, it's better to make the arrangements over a long term. So it looks like just expanding how you do things, realize that there are other options that won't kind of hang you out to dry financially. So it does look like you're trying to find your balance a little bit, that you're embracing doing different things, and allocating money a little bit more equitably towards your current life and your past bills. This does feel like you will have some material gains. So you may be being offered a position or a promotion of some kind by an authority figure. This feels more like an authority figure than like a family member or anything. So you may be getting a raise at work. You may be adding to your responsibilities, but it does look like you have proved yourself and your worth. So allow yourself to revel in that wonderful challenge that you have met and mastered. It does feel like you're a little resistant to changing and being in a little fear about it. So just go with the flow until it's presented, and I think you'll be okay. The Queen of Pentacles is here, also an authority figure. That's Earth, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. So it does feel like someone in that category has taught you a lot about management of money. These discs can be material gains, but it also looks like being in integrity. The Queen is also an exalted figure. It can stand for someone over 30 or someone that's under 30 that has great wisdom. It does look like someone that has kind of shown you the way in the past. This may not be someone in your awareness anymore, may not still be on the planet, but it looks like you learned your lessons from this very wise woman from the past, and some of those lessons now are seeping into present time and really releasing the things that didn't work for you. This can be a mother figure, an authority figure, but it does feel like she taught you some good things in life and some things that aren't pertinent to you anymore. So it does look like you're doing a little balancing of information. What works for you now may not have worked for you in the past, and vice versa. So as long as you keep that integrity, release with love and kindness, but it does look like there are some things shifting where being in your highest creative essence and in integrity is super important, but it does look like getting a handle on your money and allocating it. Both these discs are really, really shining bright for me. So that's material things. So you may be relieving yourself of material things so you have a little lighter load. Can be as easy as, cleaning out a closet, or as big as actually shifting from one house to another. But it does feel like a physical move, being in integrity, speaking your truth, and allocating money. That's a little easier to deal with for you. The next card is upside down. That is the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords right side up is really feeling trapped, really feeling that You have nowhere to go. It is upside down. So, and the healing energy is really coming through. So it does look like a decision to better your life and to better your circumstances has been made. And now it's just putting it into motion, whether that's a new job, a new home, releasing friends, releasing a relationship, or releasing how the relationship has been manifested and making some changes. But it doesn't look like you feel so trapped anymore. It does feel like the healing has begun. And by taking that step into the unknown and making that small change, whether you facilitated it or not, Aquarius, it's in motion now. And the healing has begun. There's some pressure that has been taken off of you. It wasn't as dark as you thought it was, but kind of working with people instead of being kind of the lone wolf that I know sometimes Aquarius is but it does look like you have kind of jumped out of some of your old habits that are not conducive to your growth, and not in line with you anymore. So it does look like whether you facilitated those change or others, you're kind of embracing that. You don't feel trapped as much anymore, and the light at the end of the tunnel isn't a train kind of thing. So it does feel like you are dealing with a little bit of heartache through the change. This could be a demise of a relationship, a marriage, a friendship. It could be a sudden change in something, or it can even be as simple as grieving someone that has passed over. When we are in a heartache space, usually grieving and really feeling that pain, and then is the only way to move past it. So it does look like you're coming to some grief in your life, and it may be associated with a relationship that has gone by the wayside, that has left, or an actual physical death that is hard to get over. So I encourage you to feel what that feels like. Don't wallow in it too much. The only way we can feel it is, or the only way we can truly release it, is to absolutely feel it. And not cover it up. But it does look like something from the past that you have not fully committed to releasing. So that may rear its ugly head sometime in the future. But it does look like as you process things, I don't think you'll stay there too long. It does look like you're walking away from something that you had a different idea about, and it kind of evolved into something that maybe wasn't as healthy or as positive as you thought it would be. Moving into the future position is the 8. You have a lot of 8s here as well. So you're right at here's an 8, there's an 8, an upside down 8. So, and numerology, 1s are the beginning, 10s are the end. So you're very close to ending a cycle that has not really served you. And it does look like with this 8, you're bringing in all these ideas of things that you kind of put on the shelf for a while, or just let them die out. But it does feel like all of a sudden with this change, that you now have embrace some new ideas or some old ideas that you've kind of left on the shelf. Maybe you like to go hiking and you haven't been doing that. You've been doing things for others. Now it's the time to, pick up that guitar, pick up that easel, whatever is in the passion realm that you have put on the back shelf. Now is time to reinitiate that. And it looks like it brings you great joy, and the have-tos have kind of gotten in the way, kind of with the money stuff. You've been trying to do the right thing, but it's kind of limited your own passions and kind of exhausted you. So now with this big shift and this change, it does feel like you'll have more room for you, more room for the fun things in life, and to really find that balance between work and pleasure. And take some of those ideas and manifest them into the physical realm of things. So, and they're all right there. This is a 9. It does look like your sleep has been interrupted for a while. It does look like the problems have been mounting. I encourage you to pick one thing, deal with it to completion, and then go on to the next. But it does look like the big picture, you've been looking at the big picture so much that it's kind of overwhelming. There's so much sitting in your head that it's so overwhelming that you haven't really done anything. Kind of ignored it. So I encourage you, Aquarius, to pick one thing to resolution, then move on to the next. It is not so overwhelming when you don't look at it all at once. It does look like it's been disturbing your sleep patterns. For many of you, it will be not sleeping enough, or for others, it would, sleep is an escape. So sleep is being affected in some way, and along with sleep, usually when you're sleep deprived, your creature comforts are kind of ignored as well. So it does feel like maybe your food is not that either you're not eating or eating too much. So it looks like a little regulation of sleep and food, and the creature comforts will kind of get you back on track in your mind and in your health. If we live too much in our mind, we create dis-ease in our body, which creates a disease of some sort. So it does look like you may be prone to headaches at this time, having so much on your plate, and not really embracing picking one thing and doing it. So just one at a time. Otherwise, it's overwhelming, and it kind of makes us almost constipated in our choices, that we don't choose anything if there's so much. So just pick one thing. In your fears, it does look like you're having to walk away from a situation that you have tried to make work. This may be a love relationship. This may be a family relationship, a work relationship of some kind. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel here. Walking into the unknown sometimes helps neutralize. And, everyone loves a surprise. It's not always a negative thing when you walk into the unknown. So it does look like your hand was kind of forced in making some of these changes, but in the long run, they will become more positive and help you grow a little bit more, grow out of the head space, and really be able to take some of the things from your head space and move them into the physical realm. Even though it does feel like you're walking away from a situation that you tried, but it really wasn't what you thought it was, and you can adjust things within that relationship, even if it isn't working the way that it is. I encourage you to speak your truth if it is a work relationship, so you can resolve it. And I do think you will be honored in your work for all your hard work that you've done, either a promotion, a raise, an acknowledgement of some kind. So speak your truth with love and kindness. If you need to stand up for yourself, that I encourage that as well. All right, the Knight of Wands here. This is a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Knights do not really depict a gender, but it does feel like someone that you have offered help in the past is kind of stepping up and helping you make some decisions, and just kind of feeding your soul and just being a really good friend or relative to you, one that is standing by you, ready to fight the battle, but encouraging you to make those changes. It looks like someone that has your best interest at heart, and you have alternately helped each other. It does feel like someone who is around 30, can be someone a little younger, but it's someone that kind of makes quick decisions and jumps right into the fire. Sometimes not for the better, but it is someone who always has your back. Who always has your back and does not sit in judgment. So don't be afraid to ask for help and to receive. Part of what is going on for you in the shift is allowing yourself to receive as well as give, and find the balance between the two. Find the equal between the two. But it looks like you're either on one side or the other, and finding the give and take in life. This person can kind of help you get clarity with that. And it looks like this person always has had your back. So don't be afraid to ask for what you need. The 10 is on one side, it's upside down. It's right side up, it's the happy family. So I feel like there are some changes taking place within the family unit, whether it is within a love relationship, or whether it is the dynamics of your family unit as a whole, including grandparents, children, everybody. But there is a shift that is happening in the family. This is also on the left side of this, so this may be a family member, but it does look like everyone is coming together through this change. But it does feel like some changes within the family need to happen, or actually are happening, I should say. And this could be the dynamic shifting. It could be the elders in your tribe are getting much older, and the gauntlet is being passed to the next generation. It can mean, children leaving the nest. So there is a big shift on the family, in the family unit that is happening. On the other side of this is the 7, and this card can stand for, creating your wildest dreams. It can stand for redoing your bucket list, or really looking at things as they truly are, not looking at things through a dreamscape, through rose-colored glasses type of thing. It is upside down, so it does look like your perception has shifted from one way that you thought it was to the actual reality, which has been a little bit of a challenge for you. So it does look like some truths have come to light, and once you thought it was this way, it's really that way. This does look like it involves the family unit, whether it is marriage, partnership, or the dynamics of the family. So it does look like some truths have come to light for you, Aquarius, and you've been able to make a little bit more positive decision making based on the reality of things. So you've really torn off those rose-colored glasses and looked at it as it truly was, which is the only place that we can make changes from a place of truth and integrity. All right, Aquarius, I'm going to throw a couple of these past life cards. These are great little cards by Doreen Virtue. They have 1 or 2 words on, but it just brings it on home. She's just really great. So, okay, here's 2 that want to come out. Father and farm. So it does look like family legacy is being challenged. There may be something with the male part of your family that is shifting, and the roles may be shifting a little bit. Farm to me just feels like family legacy. The old school things are kind of bringing, we keep the behaviors that are positive and letting go of some of the legacy behaviors that our parents, grandparents have brought to us that may not be working anymore. So it may be time to release those family legacy behaviors that are no longer valid